daughter.
And am I supposed to look right at the...
Yeah, don't look at me, look at them.
No, I know. Tell me when.
You are ready?
Oh,
So you
hi.
can start whenever you'd like.
Okay, I can start now. So I am Nancy Ann Grancio Fama, and I am Veronica's fourth most pretty and brightest daughter.
Nancy, what is your earliest memory of Nana?
Well, I've thought about this question quite a bit. And actually, I believe my earliest memory of Nan was when I was a little girl and she was home because Nana worked all through my childhood. Really, pretty much until I went to college, 3 jobs. And my earliest memory was one morning, Nana was home, or I should say Mom was home, and I had this acute sense that I did not want to go to school because I wanted to stay with her. And so I made up an excuse, and I begged her to stay home, and I think absolutely she knew that I was not sick, and she let me stay home with her. And it's just kind of one of these nondescript memories, but I do think it's my earliest memory. I know I was quite young.
Okay. What is your fondest memory of Nana?
So I think my fondest memory of Nana was when I was a little girl. We always used to go to the Jewish bazaars, and it was my most favorite thing to do with her. And she would drag me all over Hicksville, Bethpage, to all the temples, and we would go to the bazaars, and I thought it was just the best thing ever. So I think those are my fondest memories with my mother.
What do you love about our family?
Well, I love the fact that we are survivors, and I know that we got that from Mom, that all of us, I'll speak of the sisters, and hopefully the next generation won't have to go through so much, but we've all had struggles and challenges, and I think the example that was set by our mother has enabled each and every one of us to be strong, persevere, and be tremendously successful. As I look at family and friends that surround us, I don't think any other family can match the successes and the compassion and the love that is seen in this family.
Okay. What's the one thing you learned from Nana?
I think I learned from Mom how to be compassionate and smart at the same time, how to be humble, and how to give. Mom always gave when she had nothing. I'm reminded of the time that we took in basically a homeless family just because they were in need when Mommy really had nothing. But she opened our house and her finances and her everything she had to this family that was even less in a worse condition than she was. So I think that has carried me and is a great part of who I am and also who my kids are as well.
How has Nana changed your life?
Well, Nana is my life. She's my hero. She is my inspiration. Anybody that knows me knows how connected I am to her, and how all of my children are also so connected to her. So when you say how did she change my life, she is my life, and she's made me who I am today, and I think that she's ever present in my thoughts, and I love her dearly.
What do you remember about your grandparents?
Well, my grandfather, Nan's father, was dead, so I have no memory of him because he died when Nana was a young woman. so I have no memory of him. And as far as Nanny, I only remember her being sick and in the bed. So I don't have a lot of memories of Nanny. Because she died. I think I was 9 or 10 years old.
Do you
She
have
died.
any memory of your grandmother, Grancia?
No.
What about Aunt Jean?
I remember Aunt Jean. I remember, you're talking Aunt Jean Brie?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Aunt Jean Brie. Aunt Jean was the quiet one. And Uncle John, and I love them very much. Very different from Nana, but she was always kind of a kind, resolute character. And Uncle John was always hanging out in that dark room with the baseball game on. So they were very much a part of growing up.
What do you think Nana's relationship was with her siblings?
I think Nana loved Aunt Jean and Uncle John very much. I know she was close with Aunt Jean, but I think there was a relationship there that was, a little different, maybe because Aunt Jean didn't have children. But I think they got along very well, and it was a close relationship for Nana.
What do you recall about your father?
My memories of my father are not good. And so all I will say about my father is that I guess I have to be grateful that he was a part of me being here. And I know that at one point in his life he was good to the family. It's just not memories that I have.
How do you think Nana balanced all the roles she needed to assume virtually alone?
I'm not quite sure, and I don't think that probably anyone in this generation could have done it the way she did it. I do know because growing up with it, unlike my older sisters, I saw it firsthand living in the house, where she worked 3 jobs and always had that concern of keeping a roof over our head. But I often think when I look at some of the issues that we've faced that are so far less in degree than what she faced, that probably none of us could do as well as she did.
Any specifics you might remember
Regarding
how she assumed roles? Anything along that line? What she
No,
needed
well,
to balance?
she balanced everything. She balanced work. She balanced the home. She always, I think the biggest balance that she probably gave to the family is that throughout all of it, she always let all of us know that we were well loved and cared for. And I think that's what grounded each and every one of us. She didn't have a whole lot to give in terms of material wealth, but what she had was her unabiding love, which we all feel to this day, every one of us in this family, and those that have married into it. And I think that was the great balance and equalizer for everything that she went through.
What was it like being the 4th daughter?
Well, I always felt extremely loved and very spoiled. And I think my husband has carried on that tradition. So I have felt and continue to feel extremely blessed. To look at our family and to know that out of this divorced, household, we have 4 daughters who got college educations, married wonderful men, maintain excellent households, now have 10 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren who are all equally accomplished people. It's remarkable. And I can speak for myself. I think that the love and the support that I received growing up has enabled me to be as successful as I am today.
Can you give me an example of a feeling you might have had, or a memory you might have had of really knowing that you were loved in the family as being the youngest daughter?
You know, it's not a specific example. It's just always, I always knew that no matter what I would do, where I would go, or what I might need, that I could fall back on my family. I always knew that. I know it today. And that's a feeling that everybody doesn't have.
Is there anything you didn't like, you disliked about being the fourth daughter?
Well, it's not great always being the peacemaker among the other three, because I feel that that's my role. I try to, although I will tell you that I am in charge of Ronnie and Linda is in charge of Jacqueline. So that we have worked out. But I think overall I tend to be the peacemaker, or at least try to be. So that's not always the most fun position to be in.
Growing up, what was Nana like as a disciplinarian?
Nana didn't discipline anybody. Except I do remember when Aunt Linda would come in, or Linda would come in late, past curfew every night, and Nan would be waiting up with the wooden spoon, all 5'2" of her, running around the house after Linda and her hot pants. But I was the model child, so there was actually no discipline for me, zero.
If Nana didn't discipline, how is it that you think you found your moral compass?
Because I saw how hard she worked. I saw how hard Mom worked, and I did not want to add to her burden. And that is really the truth. And that's how I stayed on the straight and narrow. Not that I was an angel, but I had this enormous sense of not adding to what was already an overwhelming burden for her. So I did carry that with me my whole childhood.
Is there a single thing you can think of that Nana helped you with? Something that really just sticks out in your mind? A single thing?
A single thing. No, again, I don't know. Maybe it's more my memory than anything else. It's just more of of being enveloped by her support and her love my whole life. So I can't think of a specific instance, I guess.
Okay. Growing up, did you ever get into trouble?
Growing up, I got into trouble. Yeah, let's see. Well, this is what happened. I had tried pot when I was 14, and I guess it was laced with something that I was not aware of. And I got very high and started to hallucinate, and I got nervous and paranoid. And the first thing I did was want my mother. And so where most kids would probably just retreat to their friends or get through the uncomfortable feeling of being high, my reaction was to call Mommy. And she came, and I think Linda might have even been with her. And the next thing I know, I was whisked off to Dr. Shapiro. He gave me some kind of shot. I fell asleep. I woke up, no recrimination, no nothing from Mom, and I never touched drugs again from that experience. So I always said that was probably the best experience that I could have had as a young girl. But the important part of that was the way Mom reacted to that, which was, I didn't get lectured. She basically said, do you feel all right? Do you want me to make chicken soup or something like that? And that has always been a great lesson for me as a mother.
Did you do anything that Nana didn't know anything about?
Oh my God. Yeah, I can't even begin. I could start with the parties that we had in the houses they were building on Plainview Road, where my friend John Kreppel, who was a drug dealer, broke in, and we had like, I don't know, 150 people in the house, and you know, the cops would routinely come and we'd all go flying out of the house. Never got caught, of course. Or, you know, the many weekends that I would go on the side of the Plainview Old Bethpage movie theater in the ditch with my friends and drink tango until we threw up, which was a screwdriver vodka mix that you could buy real cheap. To all the many nights that I used to sleep out in the woods with all of my friends when I told Mom that I was at my girlfriend's house. So yeah, there's quite a few. That would be kind of lengthy if I really had to chronicle all of this.
Did you ever get the opportunity to tell Mom this, or is she still unaware?
I guess she'll learn about it now.
We're just about ready to close, so in closing, knowing that we're celebrating Nana's birthday, could you give her a little message about what you admire most about her?
Well, Mom, I admire who you are as a person. I know you did not have an easy life, you know, from really being a young girl without a father to, you know, raising daughters without the benefit of a husband. And, you know, and through it all, you kept your dignity and your compassion, and you provided for all of us. And of course, this is going to be the tearjerker. Everyone will probably cry at this part of the question, so you don't form your words as well as you might want to. But I love you, and you have been an inspiration to me my whole life. And I feel very blessed to have you for these 90 years. And here's to another 90.